Okay, everybody. Today is Thursday. It's the 27th, and I had a couple of questions that came to me online. So I thought I'd shoot off a little YouTube here on up in what's left of my office. I have a new office down in Rifle. This house is sold. I think I said that, but um, I'm trying to move. That's why I'm in a t-shirt and jeans. I'm trying to get everything out of here. I load up. Books are a big thing. I have a lot of books up here, and I got to move them all down to Rifle. But anyway, those are my personal problems. Um, Betty was kind enough, Ms. Shu. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Looking forward to watching the recording. Sorry I missed. Trouble with chapter 7 or question 7 in chapter 1. And if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my other screen while I'm doing this, so it's a distraction. Sorry. Um, anyway, I'm going to go to McGraw Hill and I'm going to go to chapter 1, homework, question 7. Just maybe I can give. Um, I think what Ms. Shu was having trouble with was something. She was getting a not complete. Let me read that again. I can't figure out what I'm missing. It says my answer is incomplete. I've used the check my work feature and I'm all green. Can you take a look for me? This is why I love having class in person because, you if you were all together, you'd come out and you could work it out in person. Um, but anyway, sometimes it's in that equal sign is there. That looks pretty straightforward. So I'm hoping I can maybe cast some light. Make sure that you have these things in order. Oh, this is question 1. Let's go to question 7. Make sure you have things in order and you've filled in all the different blanks. Okay, this is a pretty robust question, and that's probably why she ran into trouble. And you can see, check this for month ending May 31st because it's an income statement. Make sure. I think there's a drop down in your thing. It's just that if it's a balance sheet, remember snapshot in time, and it'll be as of May 31st. This is for month ended, and then make sure you have that revenues there, consulting services revenue, nothing in these two, and then expenses. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expenses I had in my problem. You may have a different numbers. And then in B, right, again, for month ended, retained earnings May 1st, net income. You don't want to put anything in there unless you have dividends, and then you have to less dividends there. Retained earnings 31st. I hope that clears something up. And now I'm looking for the areas that would be a pain in the neck, but I can't. Sometimes they're hard to find. This is a balance sheet, so May 31st, right? That day, and a moment in time. Cash, equipment, and over the liability sides, accounts payable, total liabilities there. Of course, common stock retained earnings from your income statement, total equity, and total liabilities and equity. So make sure, even though you're getting all green, you may have not put total equity there, or missed one of these lines. So check that. And then finally, we have a statement of cash flows, and there's 3 sections in the statement of cash flows: operating, investing, financing. So you have to have those headers in there. And then net cash, of course, down here, right? And cash balance May 31st. So just make sure you have all those drop downs and everything done there. It's sneaky. I know, and the errors are frustrating. That's why, like I say, it's fun to work it out in class. And again, if you're having trouble, don't worry about it. You're not going to get marked down for missing some silly thing in the software. Um, and and also, don't get stuck on, keep moving. If you're having a hell of a time, and we'll go over it again in class, if you, Ms. Shu, or anyone else who's having trouble, we'll go over it in class. Don't get stuck where you're like, I got to get, before I can go to number 8, I got to be perfect in number 7. You'll lose your mind. So that's chapter 1. I hope that helped. And I'm going to go to chapter 2 and just go through the problems, because I ate up too much of our lecture with my endless rants. But I hope you get something out of what I'm saying. 2 students in progress, catch up. See, I can get your progress all the time here. And I'll go into these previews and just show you. There are 10 questions here. A lot of information, a lot to keep track of. Put a scratch sheet next to you. However you like to be organized. Being an accountant is about being organized. That's what the whole thing is about, organizing your business. So require prepare general journal entries, and then in 2, post, and then in 3, prepare a trial balance. So here's our journal entries, right? Cash, office equipment, drafting equipment for common stock. They started a business, right? This is number A. J. Aracel, in fact, invested 235, and it breaks it down. So you just go through these one by one by one, and what, right? It has here. It gives you the journal entries to record. Transaction A, B, C, right? And you just keep going through them one by one. It's setting you up to be able to do it in QuickBooks or whatever accounting software that you run into. Here's B. Look at these are like T accounts, only they keep a running balance. But this is posting, right? And here's where you might, A, B, C, A through Q, each one by one by one. And I think it calculates the balance for you, if I remember correctly. That's cash. PPI is prepaid insurance, is another asset, right? Drafting equipment, an asset. Land, an asset. Payables, that's a liability, right? Dividends, owner's equity. But here's all these little accounts, and you just go through them one by one by one, and it's a lot of busy work. I made it so that you could print this page if you wanted to, and put the page on your desk and go from so you don't have to keep scrolling up and down. That's one of the. It's also nice to have 2 screens if you can, and open it up on one screen. And nevertheless, that's a lot of people don't have the luxury of 2 screens. I realize. So here's the third requirement: is a trial balance. And remember, what we're trying to do here is balance our debits and credits, right? We're gonna satisfy the accounting equation, and then we're gonna balance our debits and credits, okay? And that's the essence of double entry accounting. So that's number 1. They're big problems. They take time, but they're meant to take you some time, so you really go through each. The thing is, when you get to an office somewhere, you want to be able to know in your head right off the bat, oh, we're going to debit cash when we pay an expense, right? I mean, credit cash, Jesus, credit cash to lower it when we pay an expense. And you just do this automatically. So in this case, they began a company in March 1st, right? And they, you debited cash to increase it, debited office equipment to increase it. and credited common stock to increase that. So you got common stock, as a reflection of putting that money in. And it's just going through them one by one, right? And make sure you put your dates in and these numbers. They might trip you up. Part 2 is this again with these T accounts, or what they say, posting journal entries. Is how it looks. And am I in the way here? I can move me out of the way. I gotta bring my cursor over. I get confused. Maybe I should be there. So anyway, there it goes. There's the second part. And here's the third part, which is a trial balance. You can see we're going through these steps one by one. And I can show you, if you want to see what we're doing, we're going through the accounting cycle. Accounting cycle graphic. And you can look in these images. I know I didn't show you one of these, but here's what the cycle looks like. This is all we're doing is we're stopping the music. And each time you stop, oh gosh, I don't know what I clicked on, but each time you stop the music in order to calculate, you go through this cycle, manage period, record, review, edit, right? All these different things. And there's a lot of ways to portray this, but just the understanding that you're in this accounting cycle is what is important. We stop at a certain point, we take a snapshot, which is the balance sheet, and then we use a period of time, periodicity, to measure what we've been doing in that period, whether it's a week, a month, a year. There's number 2. Let's go to 3. Same idea. Just going to really keep on pounding this into you. And repetition is so important in this. I don't know how to make it easier, but here's, the great thing about these YouTube things is you can stop them and go, oh, okay, I see it now. And, you can see the difference between my information and yours. And then we go to 3. This is our trial balance, right? Debits equal credits, right? We come up with the same numbers. Perfect. Okay. 4, more of the same, I think, if I remember correctly. Yes. Right? So I'll stop there and you can look at those. Again, they started a business. This is what your accounting project is going to look like too. So it won't be anything new. Excuse me. Second part is here with all these different accounts, right? Just like you were starting your own business, you build a chart of accounts and do this. Let me see if I am recording. I use OBS software in my office to do these little recordings. Every once in a while, I'll do one and I'm not recording. That sucks. Hopefully I have to check it afterwards to make sure that there's no laggy stuff. My internet is good today, but I have my days. Debit and credit, here we are. They've got to match, right? Our debits have to equal our credits, and that's this is a trial balance, right? We're just trying to find our errors, Oh, excuse me, I don't wet my whistle. All right. 5 to 7. This one's a little different. And you'll notice prepare balance sheets for the business as of December 31st of year 1 and year 2. Report only total equity on the balance sheet. This is you're going to back into these numbers and it's a little bit complicated, but we'll go over it in class again too if people have trouble with it. You know what components, the big thing here is what goes into assets: cash, accounts receivable, office supplies, trucks, and office equipment. Well, we've got them year one, year two, right? And we know that assets plus liabilities equals owner's equity. So if we manipulate the equation, A equals L plus OE, if there's numbers missing, we can back into them. Right? So here it's got well, nothing's missing in this one. So here's year two. Easy, right? No further explanation is needed. Now, compute net income for year two by comparing total equity amounts for the years and using the following information. During year two, the owner invested $35,000 additional cash in exchange for common stock, and the company paid a $31,200 cash dividend. So you got to know where to put the 35,000 and the 31,200, which is right here, and get to your total, to your equity, right? So you added common stock, right, and all that. So here, look, here's the explanation: 106,118 plus 31,200 minus 3,500 equals 102,318, which is right here, net income, right? 102. How did we get that? Well, plus we add in our investment and we subtract our dividends. So we end up with 322,926, right? Pretty simple. So there's that explanation. Excuse me. And then in number 7, debt ratio, right? Compute the year 2 debt ratio. So what is the debt ratio? 180,517 is the total liabilities divided by the total assets is 503,445. So the debt ratio is 35%. 35% of your total assets are debt. Is that good? Is that bad? Well, it depends on what we compare it to. What other comps we call them, like in real estate, you say that's the house next door. What did it sell for? But in accounting, we have these comparables. How if we're Nike, how's Adidas doing? And sometimes that's a good comparison. Sometimes it isn't. All depends. 7, 8. Here's number 8. Again, it's going to give you these accounting records of nettal distribution, assets and liabilities, and going to get you to get the debt ratio, right? Total liabilities 73.5. What do we have? Payables, AP 3,500, 33,500 in the second year, and a note payable of 40. So 40 plus 33.5 is 73.5. So those are our two. In year 2, our two liabilities are these two: the notes payable and the accounts payable, and it's a pretty big number in year 2. So our total assets in year 2: cash, office supplies, equipment, trucks, right? So it's quite a bit, and building and land. All that added together is 377,700. So our debt ratio is 19%. Always a ratio turns up as a percentage. So there you go, debt ratio. Here it gives you a little explanation. It's not really needed. They show it right there. Why is that important? Well, hopefully, the trend is your friend. That's what we say in the stock business, right? If it's going up, it'll keep going up. If it's going down, it'll keep going down. That's not always true, but nonetheless, you would like your debt ratio to be getting better. That's what, if you were running a business, that's what you would prefer, of course. So here we are with Yi Min, started an engineering firm called Min Engineering. He began operations and completed 7 transactions in May, which included an initial investment. Um, After those 7 transactions, the ledger included the following accounts with normal balances. Remember that term, normal balance. So in the cash account, you debit the cash account, an asset, to increase it. So the normal cash account balance, normal balance, would be a debit balance. Yes. So if it's not a debit balance, something's wrong. You've written a check that you can't cash, or no one can cash. So here's the trial balance. We have cash on the debit side, right? Office supplies, debit side, and it just wants you to, this question just wants you to break that down and be able to know where, what the normal balance of an account is. It's just more getting you to memorize these things. Okay. No further explanation. And here in number 10, we've got 7 transactions, and this is the cash account, right? So for A, 18,000, B, right, 7540, and on and on and on. And then it gives you this ending balance down here, which is a normal debit balance for a cash account. All right. So hopefully that wraps it up for chapter 2. And Ms. Shu asked me, and I will put it in when I put this up. She asked me about a lecture on Monday. I forgot that we are closed on Monday. The campus is closed. So I am going to lecture on chapter 3 via this, and I will do so. Either I'll get it up there for you, on Monday night, so that you'll be able to look at it. So, okay, thanks for bearing with me on this, and I'll upload it just as soon as it gets uploaded. I'll make an announcement and let you know about the housekeeping of Memorial Day, etc. So, thanks very much for listening, and we will see each other in another week. I know I don't like these holidays in between, but do enjoy yourself. It's Memorial Day, and think about the sacrifices of our men and women in the armed service who have kept us free. This is a free country still. So, all right, thanks a lot. And I'm going to stop.